Some people at Downton Abbey think they can outsmart everyone. They plot, manipulate, and scheme behind closed doors, believing they are untouchable. But in this house, every secret has a way of coming out. And when the schemer finally faces the consequences of their actions, the satisfaction is impossible to ignore. At the heart of Downton Abbey, Thomas Barrow always seems to be a step ahead. He moves quietly through the corridors, watching, listening, waiting for the perfect opportunity. Every whisper, every slight mistake of others, becomes a tool for him. Thomas knows the power of secrets. He sees them as currency, and he spends them wisely, or so he thinks. He manipulates situations, turning staff against one another, bending rules, and finding ways to make himself indispensable. To an outsider, he may seem cold and calculating, but to the audience, you feel the tension and anticipation, wondering if he will finally meet someone cleverer than him. But Downton Abbey is not a place where schemers thrive forever. Every plan Thomas hatches carries a risk, and the house has a way of catching up with him. The moment comes slowly, almost like a slow-burning candle, until finally, his web of deceit begins to unravel. Perhaps a plan that seemed perfect suddenly fails because someone notices a missing detail. Maybe a letter, a slip of the tongue, or a small act of kindness from another character exposes his plot. The camera or in a faceless video, the visuals can linger on subtle clues: a dropped paper, a nervous glance, a hidden smirk fading into worry. The tension builds, and viewers feel that delicious anticipation of justice finally arriving. As Thomas faces the consequences, there is a mixture of shame and surprise on his face. For someone who has spent so much time believing they are smarter than everyone else, this is a humbling moment. The audience experiences a sense of relief and satisfaction as the schemer, who spent so long manipulating others, finally realizes the fragility of his schemes. You see him confronted, not by anger or cruelty, but by the cleverness of those around him and the natural consequences of his own actions. It's a quiet yet deeply satisfying reckoning that reminds viewers that no matter how cunning someone may be, karma has a way of catching up. The beauty of Thomas's comeuppance is in its subtlety. It isn't loud or over the top. It's smart, slow, and inevitable. The audience gets to savor the moment without the need for dramatic shouting or confrontation. A glance exchanged in the hallway, a whispered conversation revealed, or a job lost. These small, precise strokes of justice carry more weight than any grand punishment. Downton Abbey proves that intelligence, patience, and a keen eye can turn the tables, and no schemer remains on top forever. The satisfaction comes not just from Thomas's embarrassment, but from the understanding that fairness, in its own quiet way, always finds its path in the glittering halls of Downton Abbey. Some guests arrive with noses in the air and hearts full of arrogance. They believe wealth and title give them power over everyone else, thinking their words and glances can crush those they deem beneath them. At first, they glide through the estate like royalty among mortals, enjoying the whispers, the nods of approval, and the subtle fear their presence inspires. But Downton has a way of humbling even the most confident of social climbers. Pride, after all, often carries the seeds of its own downfall. Take Lady Rosamund's occasional clever jabs or a visiting aristocrat's condescending remarks. They may sting at first, but the tables begin to turn in the quietest, most satisfying ways. Perhaps it's a perfectly timed misunderstanding that exposes their arrogance, or a witty remark that leaves them speechless during a dinner. The audience feels the tension rising with each elegant dinner, each polite smile hiding a dagger of cleverness. Every smirk they give is mirrored by the subtle preparation of their social comeuppance, and it builds anticipation. You can almost hear the whispers. They won't see it coming, but it's coming. The payoff comes in small, perfect doses. Maybe a grand plan to humiliate a servant collapses because the intended victim acts with intelligence and grace. Perhaps a misguided attempt to control a situation makes them appear foolish to their peers. In Downton, these moments aren't just about embarrassment, they are about poetic justice. The visual cues, fluttering napkins, an awkward pause in conversation, a dropped fan, or a smirk frozen on someone's face speak volumes in a faceless video. These subtle signs amplify the drama, giving the audience a front row seat to the perfect reversal of power. The real satisfaction comes from watching arrogance humbled without cruelty. Social snobs may have believed their status shielded them, but their pride blinds them to the cunning, resilience, and quiet cleverness of those around them. Each backfired comment, Each overlooked detail slowly chips away at their confidence, leaving them exposed not with shouting or anger, but with elegance and precision. The audience experiences a unique thrill here. It's not the loud clash of conflict, but the sharp, refined taste of justice delivered flawlessly, like a perfectly folded napkin at a Downton dinner. In this world of manners and social games, humility always finds a way to make its mark. And the proud learn that underestimating others comes at a cost they never imagined. In Downton Abbey, love is never simple. Behind the polished manners and elegant gowns, hidden desires and secret flirtations stir quietly, ready to ignite scandal. Some characters treat romance like a game, a carefully played strategy to gain attention, favor, or advantage. At first, their schemes seem flawless. Whispered words in dim corridors, stolen glances over dinner tables, secret notes hidden in books. Everything is calculated, and they believe no one can see through the charm or the manipulation. But in this house, hearts have their own way of revealing the truth, and the consequences of selfish desires are rarely delayed. Consider a character who flirts to climb social ranks or manipulate affections. The audience watches as they weave their web, thinking they are untouchable, unaware that every secret interaction leaves a trail. Perhaps a letter is discovered, a confidant lets slip a small truth, or a jealous glance exposes what was meant to remain hidden. The beauty of Downton's romance gone wrong is in the precision. The failure isn't sudden or chaotic, it's quietly devastating. The audience feels the tension build as the charming manipulator realizes their control is slipping. Every carefully constructed lie begins to crumble, and what once seemed like a game now feels like a trap of their own making. The climax of romantic comeuppance is often subtle but powerful. A misguided seduction fails spectacularly, not with shouting, but with exposure, a confession overheard, an unguarded moment captured, or the object of affection choosing integrity over manipulation. Visuals can emphasize these moments: an abandoned letter fluttering to the floor, a startled expression frozen in the candlelight, a hand hesitating mid-reach. These small, intimate details speak volumes, showing the schemer's world quietly unraveling before the eyes of those around them. The audience experiences a mix of tension, amusement, and satisfaction, knowing that deceit in love carries consequences that are often personal and poetic. What makes this type of comeuppance so captivating is the combination of emotion and irony. The manipulator who once believed charm could bend hearts to their will now confronts reality. The heart cannot be coerced, and secrets have a way of revealing themselves. Downton Abbey transforms romance into a stage for justice, where personal ambition and selfish desires are met with exposure and heartbreak. In these moments, the audience relishes not just the failure, but the subtle artistry of it, the slow, inevitable unraveling that leaves the schemer humbled and the rightful order restored. The lesson is clear. In Downton, love is never a game without consequences, and every heart has the power to deliver its own quiet revenge. In a house as grand as Downton Abbey, quiet strength often goes unnoticed. While schemes are plotted and social battles are fought, there are those who work tirelessly in the background, loyal, humble, and patient, never seeking attention or praise. Characters like Anna or Mr. Carson don't crave the spotlight. They serve faithfully, act with integrity, and endure challenges that often go unseen. Yet, in a place where arrogance and cunning sometimes seem to dominate, the underdog has a special power: perseverance, kindness, and an unwavering sense of justice. The audience watches as these humble figures navigate the chaos of Downton Abbey. They face obstacles, schemers attempting to undermine them, social snobs looking down on them, or personal hardships that would break others. And yet, they persist. Every quiet act of honesty, every small gesture of courage, slowly builds a foundation for something greater. The tension in these moments is subtle but gripping. Viewers know the underdog deserves recognition, and they sense that a moment of triumph is coming, even if the character themselves cannot yet see it. When the payoff arrives, it is deeply satisfying. Perhaps a loyal servant finally gains the respect of their peers, or a character quietly outsmarts a manipulator, not through cunning, but through integrity. Maybe a long overlooked contribution is publicly acknowledged, or a patient act of kindness results in an unexpected reward. The triumph doesn't have to be loud or grandiose. It can be a smile, a nod, a quiet acknowledgement that their perseverance mattered. Visual storytelling in a faceless video can emphasize these moments, lingering on expressions of relief, subtle gestures of triumph, or the quiet satisfaction of a job well done. These details resonate because they feel earned, authentic, and profoundly human. What makes the underdog's victory so unique is the contrast it provides to the chaos of scheming and arrogance elsewhere in Downton Abbey, while others fall prey to their hubris or romantic folly. The loyal and humble rise, not through manipulation, but through steadfastness and virtue. The audience experiences a deep sense of fulfillment, witnessing justice delivered in its most elegant form, quietly, morally, and powerfully. It's a reminder that in a world obsessed with status, power, and deceit, true strength often lies in patience, loyalty, and the courage to do what is right. Downton Abbey shows that while some may chase fleeting glory, the underdog's triumph is enduring, and nothing is more satisfying than watching the deserving finally claim their moment. Downton Abbey thrives on secrets. Behind every closed door, every whispered conversation, lies a truth waiting to surface, often at the most unexpected moment. Even the most confident characters, the ones who think they hold all the power, can be blindsided by revelations that shift everything in an instant. What makes these moments so compelling isn't just the shock itself, but the way the house subtly orchestrates justice, irony, or poetic payoff. In Downton, secrets are never harmless. They have a way of unraveling carefully laid plans, exposing hidden flaws, and delivering comeuppance in the most unexpected ways. Consider a character who has been quietly scheming for weeks or even months. They may have convinced themselves they are untouchable, moving through the estate with a smile that masks their ambition. Yet, a simple slip, a servant noticing something odd, a letter misplaced, a hushed conversation overheard can trigger a chain reaction. The audience feels the tension grow with each small clue, knowing that exposure is coming. The beauty of Downton's twists lies in their subtlety. Nothing is forced, nothing is exaggerated, yet the effect is dramatic. A raised eyebrow, a pause in conversation, or a lingering glance becomes a silent signal that the truth is about to upend carefully constructed lives. The real thrill comes from seeing characters face consequences they never anticipated. Perhaps a schemer's carefully concealed betrayal is revealed in front of the very people they sought to manipulate. Maybe a secret romance is unexpectedly exposed, leading to heartbreak or embarrassment. Even those who thought they were safe, arrogant aristocrats, cunning staff, or sly visitors can find themselves caught in a web they didn't see. For the audience, these twists deliver a unique satisfaction. Justice doesn't always arrive in the form we expect, but when it hits, it resonates. Every revelation is perfectly timed, each consequence feels earned, and every character learns that no secret stays buried forever. Downton Abbey shows that the unexpected isn't just a plot device, it's a form of moral poetry. The audience experiences a mix of shock, delight, and relief, watching as clever storytelling delivers consequences that feel both surprising and inevitable. These twists emphasize that in a house built on appearances and propriety, honesty and truth always find a way to emerge. The most satisfying moments are those where the audience sees characters humbled, exposed, or transformed not through brute force, but through subtle, masterful storytelling. In the end, the unexpected revelations remind us that in Downton Abbey, even the cleverest players can be undone, and no one, no matter how powerful or cunning, escapes the truth for long. In Downton Abbey, every action leaves a mark, every word carries weight, and every secret has its time to be revealed. By the time the final reckoning arrives, the tension that has quietly built throughout the estate bursts into a moment of undeniable clarity. The schemers, the arrogant, the manipulative, each faces the consequences of their choices. The house itself seems to witness it all, the polished floors reflecting surprise, the chandeliers casting shadows over shocked faces, and the echo of footsteps marking the approach of justice. Nothing in Downton is accidental, and in this final reckoning, every subtle clue, every small betrayal, every whispered plan comes together like pieces of a perfectly constructed puzzle. The beauty of the final reckoning lies in its balance between drama and subtlety. It isn't about loud confrontations or theatrical shouting. Instead, it's the quiet triumph of truth revealing itself, the slow unveiling of consequences that are both inevitable and satisfying. A schemer's smirk fades as their manipulations unravel. A social snob's confidence crumbles when their arrogance is exposed. Even romantic plots twisted by selfishness meet poetic justice. The heartbreaks, the embarrassments, and the revelations land in ways both ironic and emotionally resonant. Every character gets a moment that feels like the universe itself is gently but firmly restoring balance. Visual storytelling in a faceless video can amplify the drama, lingering on expressive hands, nervous gestures, glances that reveal fear or guilt, and subtle environmental cues, like letters falling to the floor, doors closing with finality, or rain against the windows, that mirrors the emotional weight. Each small detail builds the audience's satisfaction as they watch justice unfold naturally, without forced theatrics. It's the culmination of every twist, every clever maneuver, and every patiently earned triumph. The audience experiences the full emotional spectrum: tension, surprise, satisfaction, and finally, relief. The final reckoning in Downton Abbey is also a reminder of the show's timeless lesson. In a world full of scheming, pride, and ambition, integrity, patience, and cleverness always hold power. The audience leaves knowing that no deceit is permanent, no arrogance unpunished, and no loyalty unrewarded. Justice is rarely loud, but it is always inevitable. In this grand finale, Downton Abbey delivers its ultimate satisfaction. Every comeuppance lands perfectly, every twist is resolved, and the audience is left with a deep, lasting sense of closure. In the end, the house itself seems to whisper the truth: balance has returned, and every character has received their just reward, whether bitter, sweet, or unexpectedly poetic. Downton Abbey is more than a house. It's a stage where human nature plays out in all its complexity. From cunning schemers to proud socialites, from romantic manipulators to the quietly steadfast, every character has their moment of reckoning. As the dust settles, the audience is left with a sense of order restored and justice quietly delivered. The satisfaction comes not from chaos or conflict, but from watching the delicate balance of the estate finally align, each character learning, each secret revealed, and each consequence landing exactly as it should. What makes Downton's storytelling so enduring is its ability to blend elegance with morality. Comeuppances are never forced, they arrive naturally, the result of actions and choices unfolding over time. The audience witnesses subtle lessons in pride, ambition, loyalty, and love, all wrapped in the exquisite tension of life within the estate. Even the smallest victories, like a servant's triumph or a quiet act of integrity, carry weight, reminding viewers that patience, virtue, and cleverness can outshine arrogance and deceit. As the camera lingers or in a faceless video, as the visuals slowly fade, the mansion itself seems to breathe a sigh of relief. The schemers are humbled, the social snobs are corrected, and the loyal have their due reward. There is a poetic satisfaction in this balance. No over-the-top punishments, no needless dramatics, just the quiet certainty that in Downton Abbey, actions have consequences and justice, however subtle, always finds its way. And for the audience, the reflection continues even after the screen goes dark. Which schemer did you enjoy seeing humbled the most? Whose downfall felt the most satisfying? Downton Abbey invites viewers to appreciate not just the drama, but the intricate dance of morality, wit, and timing that makes every comeuppance unforgettable. In the end, the estate teaches a timeless truth. No matter how clever, how proud, or how charming, everyone eventually meets their moment of reckoning, and when they do, it's deeply, irresistibly satisfying.